lot of people are suggesting that this bull run is over. I will show you guys why I think this bull run has a long way to go from here. It is definitely sure for me that we are only halfway through in time. And understand, wave 2 and wave 3 usually happens in second half of the bull market in terms of time. But there is a barrier for you in making these returns. One of the major barrier is time. Then guys pushing you out, suggesting that the bull market is over. So if you understand these and position yourself, it's so easy. You don't actually need a lot of technical knowledge. You can just pick the basics like this and you still understand that we are moving higher. So now let's dig in detail through these charts and understand what really is coming and what we can anticipate for our portfolio. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. Now, if you are in this asset, understand there are a lot of guys who lose money in this market. There are a lot of them who don't make money in this market. But there are some who make a ton of it. So decide which side you want to be, right? Now, trading is always risky if you don't know what you're doing and if you are leveraged. Now look at the current scenario. What literally is happening around the globe. You can look at central banks coming out against this asset class precisely on Bitcoin. And at the same time, you can see governments around the globe moving towards, borrowing as much as possible, just to stay afloat without considering what will happen next 10 years. What's going to happen after 10 years, 15 years? Who will pay all these back, right? And there comes the question of inflation. This is from Reuters highlighting Turkish lira hits record low as world inflation looms. Now, it's not only from Turkey. The talks are also coming from, western parts. Talks are coming from developed sides as well. This is from Reserve Bank of New Zealand, and it shows you this. So automatically understand the time is in where you need to preserve your purchasing power. If you are putting that into a fiat currency, you're going to see your purchasing power depreciating. Now, let's actually talk through this, right? Let's see what the charts are showing us. So first one is this, which I actually created a day back and gave my followers in Patreon. So they understand this is going to happen. We got rejected from here. We may move towards the support zone, but at the same time, we may bounce, making a higher low. The possibility for that is high. Now, consider the RSI got rejected from this long-term trend line in a daily. When we move out on a 3-day and weekly, that's different. But this is intended for you to understand what short-term volatility will look like using a daily chart. So as we got rejected here, now the support zone is steady, which is acting there from a long time. Fine. Now, if the price is going to retest this low and get bounced, this is something similar to what we have seen in the history. So generally, you don't need much of a huge idea. Just look, higher high, you moved down, that's a higher low. You moved up, that's a higher high. You move down, higher low. So now you're repeating all the same, and here you retested this again, fine, but this one is again a higher low, but it didn't make a higher high till that moment, and then it bursted through. So you now have a higher high again with a higher low as of now. So with this trend in place, it's easy to understand we are going to consolidate here a little bit, move towards this parabolic line, and then now if you plot this, you're going to actually get a parabolic line just from the bull run, not considering the bear market, just considering the bull run. So you are now closer to that. So now you move a couple of weeks like this, so you get this consolidation and then move to the upside. So giving you that perspective with a clear picture without much of a lines in this is from this bull run, you're trending to the upside, you're moving to the upside. Each time you're going, you're having a higher low, and in the price you can see this levels are being respected. Now, to get a deeper clarity for this, you can look at the bull flag being printed in the BTC pair of XRP. So XRP BTC is showing you this. The pair is kind of moving to the upside, but it's still at the bottom, right? If you missed this accumulation zone, the deep range, it's fine. You are still in the next range where you're going to go up, right? And you have a long way to the upside, even till the medium range. Now the maximum is way above that, so you have a long way to go there. Understanding, buying and holding at the bottom till you reach the top. Now, whatever the time takes for it, it can be 6 months, it can be a year, it can be 1.5 years, we don't know. But if you have that time and the discipline to ride this market, you're going to make a lot of profit. Now, just look at this. This is basic stuff which everyone can understand. This was in a bear market. We were coming down, agreed, we hit a bottom, agreed, we retested that bottom. Great, we bounced, fine. Now you came back below, you created a new low, higher low there, and then you consolidated there, you went back, retested this range, which was a support here previously, and then you went back. So when you were coming down in a bear market, you retested this area, like you tried to go back up sometimes, 1, 2, 3, 4 times you tried to go back up, but it failed and you went down. Now look at this. You went above the same range, you retested it to go down, but it didn't. Yeah, the SEC pushed you down, not in all the other assets. I'll give you that clarity with other assets. Say here it's still are. You can see even during that SEC time frame, it didn't go through because SEC was directly barking at XRP, not XLM and other assets. So this is just to give you a comparative assessment to understand the same stuff. You are coming down, you created a base there, you consolidated there, and you were not able to go up or print higher highs and move up. You came down. Now you consolidated a long way. Now you're going up. You're making this as a base, right? You're retesting this. So what's next? It's moving higher. So here you came down, you tried to go back up, but it didn't, and you went down. You continued that one. So now you're moving up, you're consolidating there, retesting this base. What can you expect? That's easy, right? Now the same stuff here in XRP, you're making that as a base so that you can see your moving averages are moving to the upside on a weekly. So if you are becoming bearish, that's your choice, because the moving average is not moving average is lagging indicator, but it gives you a clear picture where the price is at the moment. When we were upside, I told you if the price is way higher above the moving average, it is considered as running way ahead of time, so it may come back and retest the moving averages. Now we did it. So while we compare this with XLM, we get that clarity. Now, if you are a pattern trader, looking at the pattern, you can see this. As you were making that top, you were creating continuously lower highs, lower high, lower high. Now, yeah, you were not printing lower lows there, but you were kind of creating that lower highs, showing you we were in a distribution. You were going down with each pump. It was like sell that top. Pump again, sell that top. So you are moving down, and then eventually you capitulated from that support level. Now you came back, right? You got this pattern, that long rounded bottom, you went up. So as you moved up in XLM, it's printing this. This is the previous resistance. Great, agreed. Now that's the support range. You're coming back, retesting that, but each time you bounce back, you're creating a higher high there. You're not actually creating a lower low here, but you're printing higher highs there. So it's just opposite to what it's shown here. Now, you look at XRP, it's having even more volatility after the SEC stuff, because now a lot of people understand SEC is in a drowning boat. they don't understand what they're doing, right? They're coming out with a lot of stories which are not fitting to the purpose, and in front of court they are being a joker right now. People look at the adoption rate, they're looking at the fundamental, they're looking at the vision of this asset and how it's moving. So you created this base before capitulation, great, and as you were coming down from the bear market, you created the top, you entered the bear market, you were moving down. Understand that happens after the blow of the top like this, wave 3, which we call, right? So now lower high, again a lower high here. In between you had a medium time fluctuation within this range. Then you retested this top, went back down, capitulated, continued that trend. Now look at this. You're moving higher. Each time you're moving high, that's fine. Now you haven't actually crossed this base, so you can state that you are still holding on to this, right? Now comparing XLM, which is still in this range, XRP has went above that range and came back and retested that one. So that's not a bad stuff. Even though we are retesting that, we are right now above the moving average. So in the general market, when you see the BTC dominance rising back up, that's again a movement to the upside. So as I've highlighted this previously, we were having this bull flag possibility, and that's playing out kind of as what we were anticipating. Then we anticipated it to bounce around the 20-day moving average a couple of days back, and it's now doing it. Now we need to see whether it's going to go through this 50-day moving average on a daily, because that's going to be a key information for you to understand where this market is actually moving towards. Now let's actually see what's happening on a macro frame, because this is what you can see. Like, you broke below, you continued, you broke about both the 20 and 50-day moving average, you continued lower, you hit one point which we anticipated previously. Great, cool. Now we are trending down. Okay, now these lines would be perfect for that daily chart, but not for the monthly, because I uploaded them on a daily. Now this is the common stuff where you get this huge downside. Now if you are going to repeat the history, you're going to rhyme something, you still will be getting something like this, where you are going to bounce a little bit, then come back down and create this stuff like an inverse head and shoulder before you continue higher. Fine, retest that support. Now retesting this trend line resistance here, and then going back down, because this is trending to the downside, not moving to the upside. Now understand, if you are looking at XRP on a macro time frame, so same as BTC, you are looking at something like this. Now what do you really understand when you look at this? Simple facts presented easily. We are still moving to the upside, right? You created a base here. Now you need to understand certain differences between creating a base, and moving down, and creating a base and going up from that base. Here you created a base, you went down, you broke below. Here you created a base, you went up, you came back, retested that even after SEC kind of stuff, and bounced back, creating new highs. Now on a monthly, it's so easy for you to kind of plot this one, right? You have this range, zoom in and see whether that's valid for you. This is my opinion saying it's valid, because this was a wick here, then we retested that level again. You have now retested this range. Now that's been from a long time, right? This is acting as a support day. So now you're bouncing to the upside, you're coming back because the market is getting that sell-off pressure. You came back, you bounced at this level. Now if you're able to close here in this range, say 0.8 towards $1, that's still bullish, because the next candle which we are going to get through, you're still going to continue to that bullish momentum. Because now we can actually zoom in, step in a bit, and look at this. That's the 20-day moving average acting as a support. Now if we remain here for some days, we are going to get the 50-day moving average to the upside and eventually get support from that. Understand, on a weekly, you have already crossed the 20 to the 50 to the upside, and we are moving. Now understand, if you actually want to put, say, the long-term moving average to understand whether it's having that golden cross, you can actually plot it, and it's not that hard to do that, right? You can just go change that input, create 200-day moving average. Now put a color for that understanding, say red, and then you're gonna just make sure that it's visible for you as you drop it. Now look at this, you got that scenario showing you the short-term moving averages highlighting. We're gonna move to the upside. Now at the moment the 50 has crossed the 200-day moving average to the upside, which is a bullish move. Now great, each time when you get this bullish cross, you usually see the price come back and retest those levels and bounce. Now you are seeing the same, you cross to the upside, the price is coming back, retesting this range, and it should bounce. So the story is simple considering a lot of different factors involved in this market. Just you need to understand this was a continuation for a bear market, and this really doesn't look like that. It just look opposite to what it was at that time. So if you understand this, now look at the portfolio, go to your portfolio, look at various different assets, how it's doing. If you are in trade, go to its chart and identify these factors. Say for me, I actually dropped these for my patrons, showing, this is what I see for this particular asset, this is what I see for this particular asset. There are a lot of different assets which are having different views, and when the market is dropping, that's when you need more clarity to understand what it is happening in the market right now, what you can understand from the market, so that you're not shaken out when there is a long way to go to the upside in this bull market. So guys, I definitely believe you received value, and if you did, please do hit that like and subscribe button, which supports the channel a lot. If you want to get these kind of charts, updates for various different assets with the wave structure, pattern analysis, targets, you can look at the Patreon, the link is given in the description, but I would suggest enter from June 1, which would support, you don't have to pay twice and I don't have to refund you and all. You can do that easily. So guys, I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.